And joining me now is Dr. Philip O'Connell. He is the Director of Transplantation at Westmead Hospital and University of Sydney. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
As incoming president for TTS, you've been active in TTS for years, and your term begins at the end of WTC 2014.
That's right.
So talk to us about some of your major goals for the year ahead and really what you're hoping to achieve.
Okay, so the Transplantation Society is the truly global society. It has members all around the world, and it's aiming to deliver science, education and public policy to its members. So the straightforward answer is that we want to move those areas forward in all those three pillars and deliver that to our members. But really I think what I want to do is to see how as a group and as a team we can move the field forward. So I think as a field, transplantation's been a bit fragmented. We haven't done large clinical trials well that have been developed by investigators. We've developed science and we've developed our clinical efforts separately, but we haven't linked these two. So I think the tools available to us now, both in communication and in science, mean that there's an opportunity now to get our members communicating better, to devise clinical trials that provides the evidence that drives the field. So what I hope to achieve in the next 2 years is to provide a platform and an environment when we can bring those people together to make the changes. So there's a lot of great people in our society, a lot of great people in the other societies that are here. And if we can provide a platform that makes it easy for them to communicate, to work cooperatively, to develop clinical trial groups that will answer the big questions that we aren't answering now, then that would be a huge success. It's ambitious, but I think if we don't start, we'll never get there.
I was going to say, it sounds ambitious and doable. And would that be one of your challenges, or are there other challenges, probably mainly funding?
Well, I think funding is a challenge, and we can be an advocate for that. And I think funding comes and goes, and it certainly depends on the economy. So I would anticipate that funding will improve. I think jurisdictions, if I know that health is a major issue for them, that they're aware that chronic illness is a major problem and they're going to invest in that. So I think we need to position ourselves so that we can avail ourselves of those funding opportunities. So I think to do that we have to be able to answer the big questions, and we can't answer those big questions as individuals. We can only answer that as a group. So to join a group or to join a team, you have to give up a bit of that individuality, but what you get is an opportunity to make a big difference and answer those big questions. So what we need to do is organise ourselves, and I think the other bits will fall into place.
And what issues are members talking to you about when you attend a conference like this?
They talk about a lot of things, and I think it depends on where they're from. So I think if they're from North America, Australia and Europe, they're wanting platforms where they can talk to each other, get together and really identify how they can answer these big questions in science. I think but the real issue for us and the real exciting bit for our society is that in Asia, because in Asia is the fastest growing area, it's the fastest growing area in transplantation, and it's the fastest growing area in new transplant programs and in transplantation science. So in science in particular, in places like Korea and Japan and Taiwan and Hong Kong and Singapore, there's big advances being made. So I think we're in a position we can offer those something and form the links between the more established centres in North America and Europe and these new developing centres. There's challenges there, and people are talking to me constantly about those challenges. Those challenges are both structural and ethical, and there's big challenges there's big hurdles that we have to overcome as a society to bring in ethical, just and transparent transplantation in the developing countries, and that's a big challenge also.
All right, well, Dr. O'Connell, thank you so much for your time.